Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, pimps and hoes. Welcome to another edition of Aaron Smith Can't Lose. Alright, we're going to take a little break from all the madness, all the nonsense that's going on with Trump and his bullshit, and Biden and his bullshit, and government bullshit, to talk about what's happening in the sports world. For many people that do not understand or don't know that Cleveland Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson has been suspended for 11 games and fined $5 million over the allegations that he allegedly, like I said, hasn't been proven yet. Not saying he did do it, not saying he didn't. I'm just saying what has been written and been in the news. 23 out of 24 of those women settle out of court. He says he did no wrongdoing. Ironically, the game he comes back and he's eligible to play is against his former team, the Houston Texans. Now, I find all of this interesting of how the NFL handles things, especially going back to Colin Kaepernick and how they pretty much blackballed him from the league from taking a knee. But he got paid off it, but it's still like, it seems to me that it's a double standard with some people. And then I do a quick Google search. Give me one moment. Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen, as I am Googling. Yes, okay, yeah, we got that. 11 games and $5 million. Personal conduct policy per the terms of a settlement reached by the league and the NFL Players Association. This happened on Thursday. This was 2 days ago. Today is Saturday. I'm recording. I wonder what the longest suspension in NFL history is. Well, that would be Ray Rice. Everybody remember Ray Rice? That's the guy that beat his wife in the elevator on camera back then, 2014. These Negroes is crazy. They get all this money and they act stupid. Alright, we'll get back to Google or not, but let's move on. My whole opinion of this is, here we go. The problem with celebrities as a whole, they get all this money and then they go and decide they want to go and do what they want to do, and that ain't right. Now, on the other hand, there are also females that know that most of these guys are just dumb in the head, because like, this is probably this guy Watson. He is a quarterback. He probably got hit too many times in the head. Probably ain't right in the head. And maybe the women took advantage of that. We don't know. All I'm saying is, everybody is wrong in this. Watson, the women, and the NFL. Watson, for the fact is that I don't care what anybody say. 24 women, somebody is lying. Now, he said he ain't do no wrongdoing. Then why is there 24? I can understand 1, 2, maybe even 5 went for 24. We going back to like Cosby. Wasn't it over 30? 40. Like I said, I don't have time to research it. You can Google that on your spare time and do that. As far as NFL goes, here we go again. I mean, it seems like they have a certain reason. I don't know how they go about it. Are they suspending it? What's the mandate? What's the precedent? But if they were so serious about this, all they had to do was, if I was, what's this guy's name? Eraserhead, commissioner of NFL, Roger Goodell, and everybody know his history. But my thing is, if it was that real, you suspend him indefinitely until everything is settled. Because he's got one lady that is still holding out. One lady is talking about he's not remorseful. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. So the truth will come out eventually. I don't know if this is a cash grab. I don't know if he really did it, but if he did, then it was wrong. But again, these basketball, football, hockey, water polo, all you celebrities, you need to protect yourselves better. You need to take care of yourselves better. If you're going to do that foul shit, do that shit at home. Find somebody that's with that stuff. Get it in writing. So things like this don't come up. Because if it was to that, if it was like that, if he were to do something like that, I don't think he'd be in this situation. But then again, he's a quarterback. He probably get hit too much times in the head. I don't know. But it seems to me that there's a lot more going on in that. There's a lot more going on than that. Pardon me, that was a phone call. It's a mother. I'll call her later. So fellas in these relationships and these situations, especially celebrities, man, y'all just gotta protect your neck. That's what Wu-Tang Clan said back in the day. Protect your damn neck. There's a lot of these females out here that be wildin'. And again, the thing is, if a girl ain't down with that, she ain't down with it. Don't force her to do that stuff. Don't do anything to make yourself into that situation. Ladies as well, if you feel uncomfortable and if you feel like you don't want to be bothered with those type of individuals, you know how these players and these people and their mindset, if you feel like that, then you should best just get yourself out of that situation. Don't make yourself accessible to these type of men. Money isn't everything. Livelihood and all that is fine, but you gotta take care of yourself first. And it seems to me that everybody was wrong in this. Deshaun Watson, NFL, and the ladies. And they say, oh, why would you say that? Well, they were just doing their job. Yeah, ladies are probably doing their job, massage therapists and all that stuff. But again, who knows, what anybody's agenda is behind this? Because out of 23, only one is holding out. So if it wasn't that serious, if it were that serious, it wouldn't be that serious, then wouldn't they all get together and then sue him and then try to get him to be suspended indefinitely? And you see where I'm going with this? Like, what's the whole mindset of these ladies that just settled out and stuff like that? And what's the mindset of Watson? It's talking about he ain't doing no wrongdoing, but you gonna pay these chicks off? Like, I don't understand that shit. Like, who gives a fuck at the end of the day? He gonna do his time. He gonna take them games off. He's suspended. Them chicks gonna get paid. This one holdout. If she continues to do that, she might get broke off. She might get paid because there are no criminal charges. There's no he's not like he's going to jail or nothing, so I just don't know. See, like I said, fellas, especially people of color, y'all just gotta just watch yourselves, man. Like, straight up, because you never know when it comes to that. Pardon me. Everybody's texting. Well, it is the weekend, so I get back to them when I finish this. I'd like to thank everybody for listening. I'd like to thank everybody for just the downloads and the follows, likes. Be sure to follow me, like me on Instagram and on Twitter at De'Aaron Smith. Hit me up on Facebook at Aaron L. Smith. Be sure to check out my YouTube, Aaron L. Smith. You could type in Aaron Smith Can't Lose on Google, and then everything just pop up. All my channels, all my places to watch and listen to my podcasts. Apple, Spotify, iTunes. Big up the First Story. They host my joint, so appreciate y'all. But let's see what else we can get into. We're gonna take a little break, and we'll be back. We'll be right back. This is Aaron Smith Can't Lose. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, pimps and hoes, boys and girls. Welcome to another edition of Aaron Smith Can't Lose. Now, in the previous segment, we was talking about Deshaun Watson and his suspension. Like I said, there were plenty of things going on and all parties involved. And, bottom line is that you need to, for him, it's pretty much, you're going to do stuff like that. You pick one girl that's cool with that shit and have a sign an NDA or whatever the fuck and let her handle that, But if he has some real help, he needs some fucking, psychotherapy or whatever the fuck, sex toy or whatever the fuck, he need to go get that, because, it could cost him his career, and I just don't understand that. 23 out of 24 women can't be wrong, but I don't know. So, moving along. We got, as everybody knows, or everybody does not know, that I live out here in New York City. I've lived in New York City all my life. Spent a couple years out in Pennsylvania, but I recently came back earlier this year, and over the past couple of episodes, I have discussed several things regarding crime and a lot of hostility going on within our streets and our public transportation system. There's a lot of homeless individuals. A lot of them have mental illness. And a lot of them have substance abuse issues. And these motherfuckers is crazy. Bottom line. It's to the point where you gotta look behind you, next to you, in front of you, and all that. And even the ones that quote unquote look normal, you gotta watch out for their asses too. It's a goddamn shame. And it seems to me like it's like everywhere. And some people look at me funny, and I can't blame them. I mean, let's for USB keep it real, every day on the news, it's always something. A stabbing, a shooting, somebody getting shot, somebody getting attacked, all kind of bullshit. Not too long ago, a couple of days ago, cab driver, a couple people, most likely kids. That's what they sound like. They didn't want to pay their fare. He chased after them, and they beat him. And supposedly, I'm not too sure, but let's look into that for 1 second. Quick. Channel 7 out here, ABC 7 New York article. All this happened in Far Rockaway, Queens. For those who are not familiar with that, Queens is a borough in New York City. Far Rockaway, Queens is not too far away from JFK Airport, which is also in Queens, which most people you might be familiar with. A lot of people that travel back and forth to New York. Okay, so it basically says two 20-year-old men and one 15-year-old girl, fucking babies, like I said, arrested by the police and are facing charges in the beaten death of a New York City taxi driver, Austin Amos, was walked into a 101 precinct station house in Far Rockaway, Queens, Wednesday night, accompanied by his mother. I guess his mother turned him in. After investigators released a video of suspects wanting the 52-year-old's death, Kutin Gima. Pardon me if I spelled the man's name wrong. Police say he was hit on his head on the ground during an altercation with fare-evading passenger Saturday. Amos is charged with manslaughter, gang assault, and theft of services. He has 6 prior arrests, including robbery, criminal, sexual misconduct, and he's out on the streets. Well, he's getting arrested. That's another thing. Pardon me. Give me a little water there. Clear my throat. It's another thing, unfortunately, this bail reform shit out here in New York State and the city is ridiculous. I mean, people get locked up today and out tomorrow, and there's too many of these dangerous individuals out here, and it seems to me like it's a revolving door. And innocent people like this man gets killed. Like, these kids are just reckless, like no regards for life, nothing. It shows. But let's get back into the article. 15-year-old girl was arrested too. Also charged with gang assault and theft of services. Second man, 20-year-old Nicholas Porter, also arrived at the precinct Wednesday night and was charged with gang assault and theft of services. They still looking for a 13-year-old. Who had alleged role in the attack and is also expected to be charged with gang assault, so they still looking for her. They they know who she is, and detectives, and they're looking for a 16-year-old girl, also initially identified as a witness by detectives. All right. This man had 4 kids, not even no older than 10. 3, 5, and 7. 3, 5, 7, and 8 babies. Their father is gone because of these couple of degenerates who decided that it was okay to not pay. Now, yes, he probably could have let it go and maybe he could have still been alive, but then again, who knows at this point? Because like I said, there's a lot of these people out here. Most of them, like I said, are under the age of 21, like these kids here, and that's how I see it. If you're under the age of 21, you're a freaking kid. I'm about to be 39 years old at the end of the month, so I ain't no kid. So anyway, but surveillance video shows the moment that he was punched and it fell on his head. God damn. His wife is relieved, Abigail Gemaya. That was his wife, now widow. He said he was his children's hero. He was her backbone. He was the one he looked up to. He looked up to God, but aside from God, he was the only one I looked up to. She looked up to God and him, but he looked up to God first. Excuse me. And now he's gone. She's a widow. Damn shame. Fucking shame. This goes back to my argument with the response that Mayor Adams and his administration, as well as the police, they are not doing shit. Yes, these things could still happen, even if they were doing something. But unfortunately, it's happening too much. And all he's doing is giving lip service. And he wants to pass the buck. Oh, it was the previous administration. Oh, it was de Blasio and his administration. That is partially true. Towards the end of de Blasio's administration, which was not too long ago, because this guy Adams was just sworn in January. Yeah, towards the end, I could say de Blasio kind of gave up, but he's not here anymore. You're in charge, Adams. Anyway, I just don't understand why. I do know why this is happening. And my opinion on it is the homeless situation, the mental illness situation, and the substance abuse situation. Those 3 things do not mix. The pandemic has ruined a lot of lives. It has cost a lot of lives. It has taken a lot of lives. And a lot of people have not reacted to this very well. This is, I've seen with my own 2 eyes here in the city of New York. Currently, in between places, me staying here, me staying there, looking for a place, working, trying to keep whatever little income that I have. And, a lot of people are in these situations, and unfortunately, the rents are not going down. Inflation is high. I guess kudos to Joe Biden for passing his inflation bill, but we all know that's not going to happen. Those effects are not going to happen right away. And we need immediate action when it comes to helping people of the lower class, the middle class. Well, not necessarily the middle class, but lower and working class people. Middle class, they feel a pinch too, but quite honestly, I'm more concerned about people like myself and people around me. Because like I said, I have a fiance. I have family that live in the city. that ride the trains and the buses, and it's every day. It's always something. Yesterday, homeless man came on the train, sat across from me, coughing and hacking. Okay, we're pretty much over COVID, right? I think that's pretty much the case. I still wear my mask. Most people I know wear their masks. The CDC themselves have pretty much given up. They said they're pretty much on your own. Their recent guidelines was basically like, hey, they're going to be more or less strict and all that. I'm pretty sure they're going to go back up. But hey, I digress. Let's move on. Let's go back to the subject at hand. Homeless man, no mask, no nothing, coughing and shit all over in that. Got tissues in his pocket, coughing on them and throwing them on the floor. Had a big ass box of Krispy Kreme donuts. And he decided that when he got off the train, he left the shit there. Now, I don't know this man's situation. I'm pretty sure he's homeless. I'm pretty sure he has substance abuse issues. I'm sure he has some fucking shit on. But why should that be my problem or somebody else's problem if they don't want help? That's what I'm trying to understand. Because like I said, I'm a Christian man. I ain't perfect. I don't go to church, but I pray and I believe in God. But I also believe the understanding that there's a lot of people out there that need help that don't want help, and he's one of them. It's all over those trains, sleeping on the trains. Okay, the shelter's not the best place in the world, but you know what? It's a lot better than not being in the street. Most of these people don't want to deal with that. Most of these people probably got kicked out of the places. So where does that leave them? Outside in the street, bothering people, attacking people. Ridiculous. You know? Then you got the governor of Texas, who basically sent a bus full of migrants here, and because we're a sanctuary city, we have to accept them, and that puts the strain on all the little resources that everybody has within the Department of Homeless Services, within the places of social work, HRA. HRA is Human Resource Administration. That's people that get food stamps, housing assistance, all that for those that don't know. But the problem I have is that something has to be done when it comes to this. And I'm going to come back to that migrant situation as well. But I'm going to wrap this up and talk about these homeless people. I've personally been homeless 3 times. And yes, all those 3 times, they were my fault. There were things I shouldn't have done. I should have kept my place. I should have did what I had to do. But the issue that I have is that there's limited resources. Most of these people don't care. And most of these people who pretend to care only care about things that's in their advantage, like Mayor Adams, like the NYPD, like most of these social services places as well. And I've dealt with most of them myself. I'm dealing with them right now with my fiance, who want to pass the buck and not want to help people. But you have to deal with them because, unfortunately, you can have 100 jobs and still cannot pay the rent. The proof is in the pudding in New York City. Unfortunately, my concern is that it's only going to get worse, and innocent people are getting hurt. You know, I believe there was a time where people like that could be hospitalized for a certain amount of time. That probably needs to happen again, because these people should not be out in the street. They are dangerous. You either put them in an institution, a hospital or something where they can get treated and care, and that's the argument. Oh, that's against their will. Well, we're against our will too. Well, we got to deal with this shit. They gave them all these rights, and now they take advantage of them. But the people that do right and get the things done and do what they have to do for themselves, they're the ones that get screwed over. And that's dead wrong. And that's the problem I have with the Democratic Party as well. If it's not on an agenda that they don't do, especially here in New York, because we got a Democratic mayor and a Democratic council, New York City Council, and all they do is talk, run their mouths. They don't do anything for the common man but give them a handshake and put them a pat on their back and rub their head. That's as far as I've seen. But all this stuff is still continuing to happen. And like, it just pisses me off, you know. Okay, yeah, the Republicans are terrible people too. We've seen this. They have become the cult of Trump. We have seen this. But you know what? When they stick by something, they stick together and they stick to their guns, and they say what they mean. Democrats kind of say what they mean, but they don't really. So it's like, it's okay. You understand this, and yeah, you get that, but it's not really what we said. It's not really what we mean, or something like that. But my hope is that drastic changes come within the next few months, because as we enter toward this year, and if this continues to happen, I'll say it right here and there. I say it right here, right now. Eric Adams will be a one-term mayor. Because all he has done is nothing in my eyes. Little stuff here and there. Oh yeah, you did a Roe v. Wade thing. You know, okay, yeah, New York is a state where a woman's right to choose is hers and hers alone. Perfect. That's what's supposed to happen. That's what you're supposed to do. Now get on the grounds and help people. People want to talk about community policing. Okay, fine, let's do it. Do something. Because at the end of the day, all these people are doing is talking. Just like I'm here talking, running my mouth and saying my opinion. That's all they doing, saying, running my mouth, talking. But the difference between me and the difference between them is that they are in a position of power to do something, and they refuse to do it. And when they try to do it, or they're going to end up doing it, it'll probably be too late. And quite honestly, I am sick of it. I know a lot of people in this city are sick of it. Maybe most of y'all have turned a blind eye to it. Maybe you just don't care. But there's a lot of people that I know personally, including myself, that are sick of this. Day in and day out. Worrying that somebody's going to knock them inside their head. Worrying about somebody going to bother them on the train. Worrying about somebody's going to do something to them. Then you can't have concealed carry here in New York State. It was always hard and difficult to get, but it's not a lot more harder. I remember that was a couple months ago. I'm not sure. You can Google that. But once concealed carry was, legal concealed carry, for those that know, that you can't carry a gun. It's very hard to do. They struck down that law. Like, how are people supposed to, take care of themselves, defend themselves? Call the police? 2-3 hours later, that's when everything happens, and then by the time that happens, it's too late. And all cops are doing is coming to clean up the mess, pick up the pieces. This is serious shit, and it's going to continue to happen until something else happens, until something gets done, until this mayor pulls his head out of his ass and do something about it, until this city council that's worried about plants and trees and all other kind of simple shit just to get things done. I don't understand that. Like, I really don't get why, you can't help. You can help a certain amount of people from a certain part of town, and they come in. You need to help these people, but you can't help the people that's here. that just gets me. And I ain't no politician. I never want to be a politician. Yes, I am probably... Actually, to be honest with you, I did put in for mayor last year. Never got through the paperwork. Too much red tape, too much bullshit. But honestly, I think I'm too honest to be a politician. Because I tell you straight to your face how you are, who you are. But it's hard for me. It's very hard for me because of I'm trying to be a better person and try to be less, I guess, agitated, aggravated, whatever have you. But, we're human at the end of the day. And this is real shit. And to be honest with you, it's going to continue. I can't stress this enough. And this is not just happening here in New York City. This is happening all over this country. This is a national issue. But I live in New York, so I'm going to talk New York. And I just don't see that. Yeah, he's just going to be a one-term mayor because this shit keeps happening. Or if he does get back in, it'll probably be worse. Now, I'm not saying Curtis Lever would be a better choice, and there was no way in hell he was winning. But have you seen the Guardian Angel since he lost? They used to be pretty much out here. I mean, they kind of scaled back. They were a little bit more prominent in the 80s, early 90s. I guess a little bit into the 2000s, early back in when the millennium first came. But you ain't seen not one of them. And they're supposed to be the people that do the stuff that the cops can't do on record. But most of them do anyway. So I'm not a fan of the police. I'm not a person who believes that police are the ones that help. They're civil servants and they're supposed to protect and serve the public. But most of them do not. Most of them do not care. And that's just how I feel. But personally, they need to do some shit. They need to get their shit together too. And, we got a female African American police commissioner. What is she doing? She's just another one with her head up or behind. Passing the buck. Or they get people when it's too late. They arrest people when it's too late. There should need to be some preventive orders in action to get this done. To make sure that these things are less, that people are not scared to walk the streets, not having to change their routines because of all these assholes out here that are doing silly shit just because they on some kind of drug or they on some kind of whatever, or they just stupid and they just want to be bothering people. That's my point I'm trying to bring across. And until that day happens, this will continue. Now I'm going to get ready to wrap it up. This is the end of this segment. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the migrants and go from there. This is Aaron Smith, Can't Lose. Alright, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Aaron Smith, Can't Lose. Like I said, we're going to wrap it up. And quick shout out to First Story for hosting my podcast. Appreciate y'all. Like always, if you really always want to follow me, you can hit me up on Instagram at The Aaron Smith, Twitter at The Aaron Smith, Facebook Aaron L. Smith. Also check me out on YouTube. You can type in my name, Aaron L. Smith, it'll pop up. And Aaron Smith Can't Lose. This podcast will also pop up on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, comment, like, hate, whatever. Appreciate the love, appreciate the hate too. Like I said, you gotta take the good with the bad. You always gotta have, take constructive criticism as it is too. Like I said, I know there's a lot of buttholes out there that probably think I need to shut up, and that's their prerogative. Personally, I could care less. But let's move on. Other than that, hey, that's your opinion. I respect it. I just don't have to like it. But let's, like I said, continue to move on. So about a week ago, Governor Greg Abbott of Texas, Republican, obviously, gun state, Texas, decided that he was going to send a bus full of migrants here to New York. Now, for those who have been following the story, for those that have not been following the story, I believe these people have come from south of the border, Mexico, coming to Texas illegally, allegedly. We don't know. I don't know. It's like a common theme down there. But the bottom line is, Governor Abbott didn't want them. So good old Mayor Adams said, "Come on down," and said we'll accept with open arms. And now they're here in hotel rooms that were recently provided to people who are homeless, I believe. And the shelter system is bad as it is now because of the pandemic, and I believe of job loss and home loss. And I think there's a lot of people, single men, women, families with children that are in these places. And I just want to get this on the record now. I have no problem with these people coming here for help, but my thing is that they could have helped them, whatever resources they got, and not be able to be stuck here, because most of them are in limbo right now. They're in a hotel just waiting to see what happens next on the city's dime. And that is making a strain and a struggle for those that are here who need resources. So this whole situation screwed everybody, and I mean everybody. And it's my argument that I have, that I'm actually going to take that back. I feel them, but what about the people here? Let's take, because how should I put this? You can't help somebody here. How are you going to help people coming in? I mean, let's just think about that. You're putting stress and strain on the limited resources that we have here to help these individuals that are coming from Texas, and they come from New York, and they go to, I believe, California is another sanctuary state. Basically, all the people that are mostly Democratic, and I believe people have gone on record, those migrants have said that New York City is the worst sanctuary city. Well, when you live here a while, you say it's a lot more than that, a lot worse than just being a sanctuary place. And my idea of a sanctuary city is that it's a peaceful one, and this is not a peaceful city. It's too much crime, there's too much violence, there's too much mess going on. Not just because of the homeless situation, which I previously stated, but also because of gun violence and people shooting and killing each other as well. This is starting to remind me a lot of when I grew up in the late 80s and early 90s, when everybody was always getting shot or was killed or some shit. I guess that was when the crack epidemic. I can never pronounce that word correctly the first time. Epidemic. Okay, there we go. Yes. So the crack epidemic. That's what I was born in 83, so yeah, that's pretty much when that started, like late 80s, early 90s. So, and as a kid seeing that shit, seeing, kind of step over crack vials, and so you don't get, cut in your feet and all kind of shit, needles, drug needles everywhere. It was just bullshit, like, and the problem is that the drugs have gotten worse with times as well. Like, K2, synthetic marijuana, that was a big issue. I mean, it's gone down, but it's still there, and people still have access to it. So, heroin, whatever how you pronounce it, crack, cocaine, all that, and with, mental illness and those drugs, they don't mix, A lot of people can say marijuana doesn't mix, and I smoke sometimes too. But you know what? At the end of the day, you are who your actions are. And if you can't hang or you can't handle something, maybe you shouldn't use it. But it seems to me, I get sidetracked a little bit, but now they're asking for federal funding aid because I'm guessing they're going to run out of money soon, because whatever money we did have to help people, which we should have been helping those that are here, ain't is not enough of it. And apparently, these people are in these hotels and they got families, and they're just stuck here. Now, for those that maybe had other family in the city or somewhere around the country or around the world that they can go to, that's cool. I salute them for getting that, but that leaves the rest of them fending for themselves. And that border patrol, border safety shit, I'm like, all right, look, if it comes to that, and you don't want people coming in here illegally, then whoever is in charge of that needs to do a better job of that as well. That's all I'm going to say on that. I don't know what's going on in Mexico. I don't know I know they have a lot of problems. I know it's a very poor country. I know there's a lot of issues there, a lot of crime, a lot of gangs, just like here in New York, but my heart does go out to these people, but it's also my heart is with the people that are here, that are struggling like I'm struggling. It's just a really effed up situation, because neither side is going to get help the way they really want. Neither one. Well, maybe the migrants might get their fair share first than everybody else. But that's not fair. You're putting two people against one another, two groups against each other when it comes to that. It's just fucked up. I try not to curse too much in my shows, but that's a way of just presenting myself, bringing my point across. Sometimes you gotta say a motherfucker, or a bitch ass nigga, or a cocksucker, or a stupid dumbass, or stuff like that. But if you put it in a sentence, if you make it to a point where you can get your, let's say, idea across, then it shouldn't be a problem. Besides, I'm an adult, so I have allowed to curse. I get to buy and purchase alcohol. I'm an adult, so I should be able to curse too. So let's move on. It's, the summer is dwindling down, and he's trying to get their children into schools, which are already overcrowded. A lot of stuff going on there. A lot of COVID restrictions are being loosened. So it's going to be a wild fall and probably even crazier winter. But my hope is that everybody gets their shit together by then. At least before it starts to get cold here. And maybe things will slow down. Because I know my black ass ain't trying to be out here freezing. You know, unless I gotta go to work. You know, I know a lot of these criminals out here, they ain't got their right mindset, you know, but I guess the less stupider ones, they probably might want to do stuff like this. But I don't know. I ain't a crackhead. I ain't a basehead. I ain't no stupid homeless person attacking people. You know. So I don't know what their mindset or lack thereof is. I just don't know. Whew. Well, I just glad I had to get that off my chest. Take it for any way you see fit. I want to thank you all for listening. And I'll see you next time on another edition of Aaron Smith Can't Lose. Be safe and well.